Hey, welcome. My sports chat podcast. Michigan seems like we're reading the same book every week. Michigan beats up on Nebraska this time. It's a strong second half, 34-3. Uh, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of the same thing all over again, which is there's nothing wrong with that. It's fun to win games, and it doesn't really matter how you do it. I know there's some things that we all hope to see in this game, and we didn't see. The deep downfield
Right.
passing. We didn't see any long runs. I think the longest run was what, 12 yards.
Yeah.
Um, but
17.
17 yards.
Yeah,
Okay.
CJ Stokes
Oh,
had
it was CJ.
at the end.
Yep, yep. And we had a few people dinged up. So I'm just glad we got out of there with a win, and the defense did the special stuff they've been doing all year, and I would like to see them keep doing that. And I'm not one of these guys that say, oh, we have to do it this way or we have to do it that way. The way we handle time management, if we can handle time management the same way against anybody, I think we win every game we play, and that includes Ohio State. And after watching the Ohio State game the last 2 weeks, I wasn't overly impressed with their offensive line or their defensive line. So I think that's our biggest strength, and I think it will come in play as we go down the road here. And I don't think we'll have any problem with Illinois. I think Illinois is very, very average.
It does seem I like your point about the Ohio State offensive lines or their offensive and defensive lines. It
Yeah.
seems kind of like it's going toward like it was last year.
Yeah.
Except we're not running full downhill like we were. We were just kicking the crap out of teams. Not that
Yeah.
we aren't, but I mean, like you had Hutchinson going
Mm-hmm.
and who's the other? Who's the other?
Ojabo.
Yeah, Jabo. I mean, they were just unstoppable at that point. But it
Yeah.
does look like that. We're gonna slap you in the mouth, and and are the Buckeyes ready to be slapped in the mouth again? Last year they were not.
No.
Pat, Pat, what do you think about the game?
Nebraska game.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nebraska game. Was obviously cold weather and elements, all that kind of stuff played in there, and the passing disappointed me again. Obviously, with the long pass not hooking up on some of those, but the running game's still there. Corum, obviously, workhorse, and we had him out in the third quarter, sparingly, and we put in a lot of those guys in the backups that came in and did an admirable job. But you'd like to see the passing game better. Defensively, we just continue to roll there. All the guys stepping in there. We got young guys coming in to play, making plays. I mean, it's just really clicking. And going to Ohio State, yeah, I think we'll see what day is for coach. We're going to see if that defensive coordinator that they're promoting this year that they brought in is able to be the savior that they're claiming him to be. And I think offense and defensive lines, it'll come down to that. It's going to come down to that no
Yep.
matter what, I think.
Yep. Yep.
yeah, I think it's
What about
looking
you,
a
Bill?
lot like last year. Um, with we expected to have a downfield passing game, and we don't have it. And I don't think we're saving it. I just think we're, like I said last week, I think we got a bunch of like second, third options for
Mm-hmm.
wide receivers, and I
Yep.
don't think the scheme is helping us.
Right.
I do want to see some double moves. It just seems like we're having go routes,
Yeah.
and you either hit it or you don't, and then the other ones are tight ends. And even with that, we're down to our third tight end.
Well, our
You
second
know,
tight end's coming back. I just read that this afternoon. He's
okay,
back.
good.
Yep.
Shoemaker didn't
All
play.
right.
Yep.
That hurt.
So, and that's the thing. I mean, so there's some people dinged up.
Yep.
I think a lot of what, I saw Corum limp off the field
Yep.
in the third, and that's when they started. They went, I think, maybe 4 or 5 plays they gave him off, and then they got him back in there. But then, like you're saying, toward the end of the game, they were just giving everybody else
Conditions were cold.
carries.
It got cold at the end, and I question having some of those guys out there, but we did sub in a little bit late, and I think he got caught one time on a good tackle, or caught him in the dinged him up into he's cold or whatever. But yeah, he just and obviously Edwards being out, not getting carries
Yeah,
for that. I mean,
So here's the thing. I mean, they obviously Harbaugh keeps a tight
Yeah.
ship on information about injuries.
Mhm.
If Edward's got a couple carries,
Oh,
they're not
yeah.
going to do that if he's hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point to it. It's almost to say, hey, we could use him if we want, but we don't need him, so we're not going to. So I'm lingering injuries are bad, but I'm not really worried about that. Mike Morris got dinged up. He says he's okay,
Yep.
but
Get some cramping at the end. I thought.
if it's just a cramp, that's fine. Drinks a bunch of water, and we're good to go. So, but yeah, Corum did his thing. It's hard for he had the long of 12, or his long was 12. It's hard to get 162 yards with only your long of 12,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
and you still average like 5.5.
Yeah, we were
He's
getting.
doing some special stuff.
Yeah, we figured it to be like 5.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's again, that Ohio State game's looking very similar to where they're two freight trains coming at each other. Very similar to last year.
Only difference will be where the site is, and
What the weather's like.
Yeah.
we're
Right
talking.
now, it's a 50% chance of rain in Columbus next weekend.
Yeah,
I hope it pours. I hope it's a 70% chance of rain during that game. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, the wind
Okay,
gets
so defense though, man. All right,
Wow.
so they played 10 games. They've given up over 300 yards once.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Yep.
is there a asterisk because of the schedule we've played?
Well, you know
Pat?
what? You can say that for any team. Tell me a team in the country, especially a Big Ten team, and Ohio State's one of them. And everyone's making such a big deal about Ohio State playing Notre Dame. Who else have they played? And by the way, is Notre Dame that good? So, other
Yeah.
than who's Ohio State played?
Yeah, there's
Played Penn State.
Nobody.
Nobody.
I
So
think, yeah, unless you're maybe Alabama is the toughest schedule because they went on the road to play Tennessee and then
yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that. I mean, obviously the ranked teams we played. Penn State was ranked. Illinois is going to be ranked when we play them, and then Ohio State's going to be ranked when we play them. But other than that, none of the teams have been ranked. So it's just the way the West isn't really that dominant this
Right.
year. There's no real dominant team in the West. It's all mosh posh in the Big Ten West. So it's like no one's really declaring themselves as a superior
Well,
team. Like you don't have the Wisconsin
take a look.
that's dominant, or anybody, or Iowa that was dominant last year with one loss.
Mhm.
Or all got losses. So it's kind of a different year. You got Big Ten, Michigan, and Ohio State, just like the old
Well,
days.
take a look at the ACC. Tell me who's got any ability there. I mean,
Yeah, it's funny. It almost seems like everybody's down, which can't be.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. I mean, like the Pac-12 is probably maybe even a little tiny bit up.
Pac-12 is up until this past weekend, I think, and they both, show flaws. And then they're going to play each other this week. USC
Yeah.
and Utah and Oregon play each other. So it's Pac-12 elimination weekend coming up again.
would
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
funny.
say that this is more of the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer because of the way the NIL works overall? Texas A&M is kind of the aberration that they spent $25 million on a handful of players and they're terrible. But if you look around the country, the traditionally powerful programs are all back to being powerful programs, except for Oklahoma. It's kind of funny to watch, and you look around the Big Ten. It has been forever. It was the Big 2, Little 8. Well, it's the Big 2 and the Little 12 now. I mean, it's that way in the Pac-12, and even in the Big 12, who's their big team? It's TCU. Because they don't have anybody else like they used to. It's Baylor and Texas is gone, and Baylor's there, and and Oklahoma's terrible. So,
and the Big 12 championship game is going to be TCU and Kansas State.
Yes, exactly.
No, you bring up a good point. No, I think you're right. I think there's two things. It's NIL. The rich get, again, if there's the rich get richer thought, the rich have the money to pay for those teams. All
Yeah,
right. So let's just go with blue bloods. Um, you have some blue bloods on the rise, even if you go with Michigan in that. You have USC spending a ton of money on players and coaches. You have Tennessee doing the same thing.
Yep.
Georgia, even Texas is, kicking up, their heel a little bit more than they've done in the last 10 years. And then, but then you also have, I think you also have a playoff issue where those playoff teams get a ton of
right.
coverage.
Yes, ton of coverage.
And
Weeks of coverage,
so that helps too.
Yes.
So
It's
you
not
get the
just
combination of
extra
both, and all of a
game.
sudden,
Yeah.
there's 9 exciting teams, and everybody else has major flaws. So I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's it's starting to show a little bit this year with especially in the Big Ten. The Big Ten West and the teams that are typically more powerful there are very average, and the teams that are typically poor are extremely poor.
Yeah. No, you have 4 teams at 4 and 3 in conference.
Right.
And this is the one I just don't get at all. Nobody controls their own destiny.
Right.
I don't know how that's
Well,
possible.
the only one that does
You know?
isn't it, doesn't Minnesota and Iowa play this weekend? And they're tied. I think that's what it is. There's two of the 4 have a game against each other this weekend.
That could be right.
Yeah, but
And
everybody needs somebody else to lose.
right. But if whoever the winner is of that game, that is the team that controls their own destiny, because and then I don't know who they play in the final.
I don't think that is, because because that would mean that both of them control their own destiny right now.
Let's look it up and see.
Because I mean, if they win this week,
Minnesota, 4:00. Iowa, Minnesota, 4:00 this week.
Okay.
6 and 4 against 7 and 3.
But you see what I'm saying? If you win this week, then you control your own destiny. That means you control your own destiny right now.
Right.
And if there's 2 like that, and there's none like that, there's 4, and all of them need to win out, and they need somebody else to lose.
Right.
Which is just crazy town.
Well, somebody's got to have control, and I thought it was probably Illinois. The problem with Illinois is they have to play Michigan this week.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt them. I think they're the only ones that have control. If they win the next 2, then they win the West. But I don't think that's going to matter.
Purdue needs Illinois to lose. That's what I read. That Purdue needs to win out, and they need Illinois to lose, which they're looking like they're in a pretty good spot because of this matchup. But
right, and Purdue's playing Northwestern.
But going to your point, Tom, is none of those teams traditionally have a ton of money to throw around.
Exactly right. I mean, you look at the West, they just don't have it. That's not the schools. Yeah.
And your one exception that you named, Oklahoma, well, dude, they got gutted when they lost their coach.
Right.
I mean, because it wasn't just their coach; it was the coach, a few of the coaching staff, and it was
a lot of players.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the third down back.
No, I mean, it was.
Yeah, they're starting quarterback, they're starting running back, their top 2 receivers, a tackle. I mean, it was like their all-star team.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if everything goes the way we think it will, we'll talk more about like playoffs and that next week.
Yep.
But we got to get through this week though. Illinois. We're favored by 18. Is it going to be?
Starting corners out for them. They're starting a redshirt freshman and a freshman or something.
How about the running back, Pat? Have you heard anything about
I heard he's back. I heard he's going to be back. Brown will play.
Well, he's got a sprained ankle. That ankle flipped over pretty good. I saw it in that game. That did not look good.
Yeah, it's right now they're saying he's going to play, but they lost 2 defensive. Both corners are out.
Wow.
I don't know what else.
Well, we don't throw the ball, so I don't know if that helps us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably not. They'll play a stellar game against us or something.
Well, I would say it's going to be the exact same result that we've seen for the last 5 weeks in particular. Maybe Illinois gets a real touchdown in the second half and kind of breaks that string. But I just don't see I don't see anybody having a whole lot of success against Michigan's defense unless we make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
I worry about the Illinois needs to win out kind of mentality. I know they've screwed up the last 2 weekends, but now they're on the cusp of ruining their entire season. It could possibly have gone to the.
We need to win out too.
I know,
Yeah.
I
We
know.
need
I'm
to
just
win out
saying.
too, and we're
I
home.
just say, yeah. I mean, I know we got a lot online, and I know they're probably sitting there at Illinois practice saying, "Boys, we gotta play out. The only chance we're gonna get through it." And I know Michigan's got the same base, so it'll be interesting to say. I like it's at noon. I'm happy it's at noon and not 3:30, and it'll be a little warmer up and it's cold.
A little bit, not much.
How much? I heard it's supposed to
Rain.
be a little chilly and snowy, but yeah. Yeah, hopefully Michigan pulls out. I don't know about the cover thing. I think last week was 30.5 and they scored so it's
Kick the field goal.
Yeah. Kick the lead field
34
goal to
to
cover.
34 to 33.5 or whatever after the points. So
It's funny. I see stuff like that and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's pretty much why I don't bet anymore.
Right.
yeah.
You know, just stuff like that. And again, the biggest reason I don't bet anymore is these kids are kids.
Kids.
They're
Kids.
20-year-olds.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
I didn't
mean,
know I was going to be day to day when I was 20.
Yeah, think of Ronnie Bell diving into the end zone for a touchdown and he lets go of the ball.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Anthony catches it, pulls it in before it touches the end line. Well, that wasn't going to affect the outcome of the game, but it certainly would have made some things different in Vegas.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. All right. So, you know, I just want to see the same stuff. I mean, at this point,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I think I'm abandoning the number one receiver stuff that I've been saying all year. I'm abandoning the let's throw it downfield. We are who we are. Let's just do it and do it better than anybody else on the planet.
Yep. And I don't have a problem. You know, I'm sure we'll try some deep stuff again. Here's a great question for both you guys. I said this to Sadler at the game. I said, have you noticed a lot of our deep balls typically are a throw that is over the top trying to get to a receiver, especially in the game we just played. And they were well covered. They were very well covered.
Yeah.
What is wrong with running a post play where the receiver knows where he's going and he can get away from somebody as he's running a post, even a skinny post? And you said it earlier today, Griff, having somebody do a double move. And you're going away from a defender instead of going right with a defender. I know he has overthrown a couple of those, but he also has made some good throws downfield to Ronnie Bell, to Donovan Edwards, and some others making those kind of throws. So I'm really concerned about the scheme from that perspective.
Yeah, oh, I agree. No, I don't see where what I'm not seeing is the guy, the say the slot back on the right side doing a 10-yard in, pulling in the safety.
Yep.
And then the wide out on the left side is doing a post behind that guy.
Right behind him. Right.
All right. So then you lead him to the right side of the field.
Right. Yep.
Takes out the guy that he's with. Now it's just whether or not your guy can get to the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not zip it to his neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's throw him open. You know, I mean, and we're not even doing the stuff like we're not even doing the back shoulder throws.
Yeah.
I mean, God, we're not even doing the jump balls.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we have guys that can win.
We're pretty vanilla, I think. Running.
I mean,
it's Shoemaker. It's Shoemaker or Rust, and now Shoemaker was out, so now he threw the bell. You know, and then we decided to try. I mean, we didn't throw Johnson. We didn't throw to, Anthony. I mean, we were just. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's nothing there. And I wonder because you got, who's coaching them and are we doing the job there? I mean, I don't know. I even questioned that the other day, sitting up there watching. I'm like, what in the world are we doing? How can it be?
Okay, so Gaddis coached them last year.
Not the receivers.
I think he was.
Was he
coached
the receivers coach also?
Yep. And he, but they didn't forget how to be receivers.
Right.
I think it's a scheme.
Yeah,
I think it's a scheme, and my proof with the scheme is that we go to our third string tight end, and he's our second leading receiver all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We know how to throw to the tight end, and that's it. And I don't think that's McCarthy. I think that's the scheme. We're just not creative enough,
right.
to throw a guy open. I mean, again, all these different things, we don't see them. And I still disagree with what you said last week about the mesh routes. I haven't seen them. I
And
haven't gone through all the games.
I don't know that I've seen any of them. Yeah.
But dude, cross. I mean, just just do like crisscross 3 yards down the field. Try to knock somebody out. Get that quick slant. I mean, it just seems like every pass play we do is some. I know it's not a 7-step drop because we're not under center, but it just seems like it's slow motion, and you're either wide open or you're not open at all. And there's nothing like about, hey, he's not open now, the guy's on him. But now what happens when he crosses through all those linebackers?
Well, here's a question for you guys. Do you think that there are things that we have not shown because we're not showing them for 2 more weeks?
No.
Oh, I think there's a lot. And I don't know if that means in the passing game or not. There was a play in the Nebraska game that when I went back and listened to Doug Karsh talk about it, when Ronnie Bell caught the touchdown near the goal line, and RG3 even said it. He said, that's a play that Michigan runs the exact same play all the time. They double the end. They try to get Corum just inside of that. And Ronnie Bell came back into the formation and went and acted like he was blocking on the inside. And the corner and the safety came up, and he broke to the far corner. And JJ lobbed the ball to him for a touchdown.
Is that okay? So is he talking about what he normally does is miss the block because he's like too far off the line?
On the block. He stays on the block, and we run the ball from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, but most of the time, if the guy does a slant, he's too far out to get him. He misses him every time on that run.
Absolutely. He would be so open. So anyway, RG3 mentioned it, Doug Karsh mentioned it, and I was like, I have not been that conspiracy guy all year that says, oh, we're holding stuff back. But you know what? It wouldn't shock me at this late date that there's some things out there that we might have used early or tried pieces of it early or set up early. And if you guys remember the Ohio State game early last year, when we were playing Maryland, how many times did we throw that flare pass out to Donovan Edwards, left and right? We just threw it over, right? Yeah. He had 170 yards receiving or whatever. So we ran the exact same formation with Roman Wilson or somebody coming back toward the line of scrimmage as Edwards is going away from the line of scrimmage. And he faked the pass to Edwards, and everybody from Ohio State went after him. And he flipped the ball to Cornelius or whoever it was and ran around the end for a touchdown from 20 yards out.
Well, look at the play they ran on the goal line. We finally saw it on the goal line where he play action, then we threw it to a wide open Bell.
Yeah, to Ronnie Bell. Yeah, that's the play I'm talking about. So I think there's probably something or some things that we are saving. But there's another factor in all this, guys. I don't even know what the number is, but it's got to be a handful. How many times are we off schedule and have third and more than 10? I mean, really, how many times do you remember that?
No, not
I remember
much.
it once against Nebraska. I don't remember it any more.
No, it's a little stunning.
Yeah,
it's a little stunning when it is. Okay, so I'm watching the game, watching with my mom, and we throw a pass on first down and it's incomplete.
Yep.
And I told her, I go, excuse me, this next play is going to be a run.
Yep.
Because I don't think we've done it all year where we've thrown 3 passes in a row.
Right.
And because they don't want to you can't come in and say, hey, I'm a running team and I just went 3 and out with 3 passes.
Right.
And they did it. They threw that pass and I'm like, my mom's looking at me like I don't know anything. And I'm like, and then they went 3 and out.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. They're not behind schedule too much.
No.
I tell you what, though, if we are, to answer your question, or to offer up an explanation to your question, If we're holding stuff back, that just shows how crappy the league is this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I-
If we
You
can
need
sit
to
there
use
and
it.
go, you know what? Not only are we going to win, but we're going to call how we're going to win. We're going to win blandly without showing anything. We're gonna hold our aces
Yep,
in our pockets and
yep.
still win.
We're playing our nines and we're still winning.
we get down there, and we're all like, what is this? And we're just bang, 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 you know, and it's
Yep.
like, oh crap, you know.
Yep.
I mean, last year they knew what we were gonna do. This year they may not know what we're gonna do. You know, it may be one of those kind of things. Because
You know, and even with that, okay. So say we are doing that, okay. We still need to practice it because we can't all of a sudden get to the Ohio State game and it's 3rd and 3, and now we're gonna run the skinny post or a
Well, we
double
know we're
move.
practicing it. They're practicing it. And remember,
Well,
the
I hope they don't
defense
sit there go, okay, here it is, here it is, here it is, and everyone's all
well, I mean,
jumping.
what have you been running? You've been running Quorum off Sackle inside of
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
throw a little tight end out, maybe a little cross for 3rd and 3. All right, let's recycle the playbook again. We just do it again. I mean, that's you watch the drives. That's pretty much what you're
It
seeing
is.
a lot of times, you know. And then the linemen just push them down. We get 10 yards when the linemen get behind us and push them down. Or
Yep.
he gets 9, and then it's 2nd and 1, and you throw, oh, let's try. We'll do a fly. Oh, he didn't hit it. And then we come back and get first down.
Yeah.
We cycle that. You know, it's like we scripted 15 plays, and we've been scripting 15 plays for 10 games now.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well, and
agree.
when it's 3rd and 7, and you
Yeah.
just sit there and you go, oh, we're gonna run it,
Yeah, for 6 yards and then go for it on
and
4th
then we're
down.
gonna go, yeah, we're gonna run it again.
Mhm.
I mean,
I
again,
don't have a problem.
a lot of it's we're gonna run. Not only we're gonna run right there.
Yeah.
We're going
And
right
it's working.
behind 65. We're
You
going
know,
right.
Here's the thing, guys. You know that they practice every day, right? And do you think they ever practice the ones against the ones? Yep.
yeah, hell yeah, they better be.
So if the ones don't know on defense what the offense is going to run, and they run a unique play, it's a passing play, and they succeed. Do you think they can succeed against anybody?
Yeah.
Especially Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State doesn't have 2 corners that are NFL corners anymore.
Right.
Hell, I think Illinois' corners are better than that, but they're
Yeah.
not playing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that I think we get so concerned about the success of the deep passing game, and we had the same concern last year, and we completed 1 pass deep on Ohio State last year, and that was Cornelius down to the 1.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, he was extremely contested, but he still caught it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm bothered by the fact that we don't catch many contested balls.
Mhm.
And
No.
by the way, I read this the other day. The 3 receivers we brought in this year that recruits came in, they're all 6'3".
Yeah.
We don't have any 6'3" receivers on the field. So I mean that is a bit of a concern. It'll be interesting to see who matriculates out of the program, whether they they transfer or they're graduating and done. I read this week that Ronnie Bell is definitely done.
Yeah.
He's already made the
I mean,
commitment.
Harbaugh announced it.
Yeah. So, that's a good thing for Ronnie Bell. It's bad that we would lose him, but you know what? Maybe that gives one of the other guys an opportunity.
Right. All right. Hey, we got a couple minutes. Let's talk about hoops. They went 2-0. They beat tight game against Eastern. Eastern's got Imani Bates, so they do have a budding superstar potentially, at least a 5-star, a lot of potential. What do you guys like in the game? What didn't you like in the game?
I like Jett Howard a lot, and I like Hunter Dickinson. I mean, against an Eastern Michigan, Hunter Dickinson should score every point every time. I mean, he's capable.
No, and he had 31.
I will say this: I don't think we play very good defense because our point guards don't play very well. I don't think Kobe Buffkin's a good defender yet. And to be honest, I thought Jace played pretty well. And Terrence Williams played Terrence Williams. What did he have? 20 and 10 or whatever. I mean, he had a very solid game.
18 and 11.
And he plays a very physical brand of basketball. And against an Eastern Michigan, he is really good. You
He's
put
our
him
shutdown
against
guy.
other
He's our
teams,
shutdown. He should be our shutdown defender.
Yep.
And I don't like him as a shooter. I think when they reverse the ball to him and he cranks it up there, I'm like, oh no.
well, he makes them once in a while.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just out of all the other options we got. But I mean, right now he's the most experienced we have. But
Well, him and Baker
really helped. I think he brought the ball down a little bit sometimes and calmed everything down a little bit the other night when our guards were playing out of control.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we got to get our guards to play under control.
I think we're going to struggle. I think our next game against Pitt, we are going to have a real problem. They are deep.
Yeah, we're going to
They're
match
an upper class team, and we will have some problems with Pitt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's tomorrow, and then before we meet up again, they have Ohio on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
are we going up? Is Michigan going overseas to play Kentucky or something? Right?
They are.
Yes. And by the way, Michigan State is losing to Kentucky right now by 4 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, I got that
All right.
on. I got that on here. Yeah, it's a good night, but you know, Duke and Kansas are on next, so it'll be a good chance to see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so hopefully Michigan can get after.
All right. Michigan seemed to be pushing the ball a lot more than they have
Yep.
in the Juwan Howard era.
Yeah.
Is that the inexperienced point guards, or is that like a new strategy?
I think
Go ahead,
it's a
Patty.
strategy. I think it's a good strategy. I think Hunter's running well. He's getting up and down the floor a little bit better than he has his first few years here. I think they told him, hey, we're going to be pushing that thing when we get a chance, and the guards maybe a little faster than we've had, and we'll see. Like I said, I like Jet Howard, and hopefully he can keep his head on and do some good things, and I like the team. It's just going to take a little while. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tom. You mentioned Jace Howard.
Yep.
And I thought he was just a throw-in because of his coach, and but he seems to be something where he's proven his worth.
Yes, he has. You know, he handles the ball well.
I mean, he's not a rock star, but he's
not as good as his brother.
He's a nice bass player.
Yeah, yeah. He came in to give some calming minutes the other night.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of those guys out that haven't been in that situation before.
Well, all right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate coming on. I appreciate everybody watching. And we'll see you next week. Go Blue.
Get one more here. Get one more.
My Sports Chat every week.
Bye.
All right,
See you guys.